Ты же там в начале.
Где Инна?
Немировская. Сейчас я поищу.
Давай,
Ты
Инна,
же благодаришь
поищи
всех.
Инну.
Благодаришь всех.
Да, я, оказывается, ведущая.
It turns out I will be an MC here. Between the two of us, we'll be now joined by Inna. I wanted, in conclusion maybe, just to give the floor to Yuri Petrovich Senakosov, who, as in point of fact, has been listening very careful at this seminar, and he very well knows what we want from this seminar, from this school. So I'll give the floor to Yuri. Just a few words. Well, I'll try to be brief, though, as you know, during the 7 days of this seminar which you spent here, I've come up with so many questions. I often wanted to say something, but indeed there's little time and there are many people here, and I wanted to give you more chances to speak and to give us more chances to listen to you. That's why all my impressions, and I have many, I've already put it this way, I'm just amazed. It's been the second year that we are seeing new students in the school, what questions they ask, how they participate in the discussion. We, in this sense, find it easier for us to work, because it's easy to discuss some matters, it's easy to discuss experts and build this composition or this show, as Lena puts it, that happens during these 7 days, and you do not really get tired. That's how I feel. And you seem to be enjoying it. You are interested in it and you are enjoying it. I think I would dwell upon 2 or 3 things which I really want to share with you at the end of this seminar. Once we already want to distract ourselves from economy, from politics, from global problems. Enough has been said about them, but just based upon my own personal experience and Lena's experience, since we were born quite a while ago, we have seen many things in our life. In our biography, it's already a third sort of transit. The first transit took place in 1968. Why? Lena says, well, okay, after 1956, after the 20th Congress of the CPSU, I mean 1960-70, there was just a cleansing of dissidents, which is very much like what we see here today. Then there was perestroika. Then again, we found ourselves in a situation like today when, as I see it, some intellectual potential has been accumulated to discuss the real problems in the country, and we have become adults in a good sense of the word. We have become more mature. We are now better understanding one another, and we now have better understanding of many things. And in this regard, I want to say that when perestroika started, at that time I paid attention to a new thing. In the streets, in these bookstores, people would sell whatever they had. And I mean, in the streets, and in the markets, and in Moscow streets, you would see many people just carrying around boxes with just a lot of rubbish, but they were cleaning things, and by early morning the streets would be clean, but a new sort of marketplace would be set up. By night time it would be gone. But at the same time, well, I have perfect memories of that in these street stalls that you would see. People would sell lots of books, and say astrology and horoscopes, printed on very bad paper. And at that time I realized why that was the case. Because 70 years have not gone by without making this result. People forgot how to. People were distracted from thinking about their own fate, about their own private life. And instead people would still show this interest, but they want to divine it. Looking at the lines in your own palm, what is ahead awaiting you? What is it, how they can be linked into this world? What about their presence in the world? All these astrology horoscopes. For me, it was all like, this is something I really noticed at that time. And I once was invited on television and I spoke about it on television. And today, what do I see today? Well, I just didn't go out. Marina Skorikova, during a break, went to this station, nearest station. There is a bookstore there that sell books at discount. They have like foreign literature and Heinrich Aren, all at 50 rubles. And at the same time, they're selling, as she put it, Astrology of Seduction. Well, you know, really serious philosophical classical books like cost 50 rubles, and they charge you 1300 for Astrology of Seduction. Whatever they show us on television about all kinds of black magic, about precious stones, all this is continuation of the same trend. We all want a better life, a more comfortable life, and for this reason we want to attract and to involve some kind of mysterious forces. We begin to believe they exist. And why am I speaking about this? Because if somebody doesn't understand what he or she is, she will never be able to understand others. So we're looking sort of beyond us. We're looking in the outer world. Many things have been said and described about this world. We're trying to retell our life. We want to understand why are we here for? What do we live for? Mezhuev used the language of philosophy to describe it, but this is really the case. The first thing that comes to my mind was Jane Austen, a remarkable English writer. In one of her novels, and this is late 18th century, she died young. A young woman uttered a remarkable phrase. She said, "We love others for doing good, good, and we hate others for doing evil onto other people." When you think to which extent you have self-understanding, this is indeed the case. This is what psychology and psychoanalysis are about. Religion. Religion actually seeks to, these practices, religious practices, they're all about it. To have better understanding of what we are about. A question that was raised about the other, sorry. This is what Boris probably didn't understand it correctly. The question was about all of us sitting and speaking here. We are unhappy and showing our unhappiness to others, be it peoples, nations, countries, but say Europe in return, as it also is in the same position, we should seek to realize that Europeans use the same terms to talk about us, saying, "Oh, look, Russians are others," and what does it mean? Are unlike us. And the question is about the phenomenon of friendship, phenomenon of love, phenomenon of democracy, because from psychological perspective, you know that friendship is an incredibly rare thing. When people fully accept themselves at what they are. Real friendship is all about it. The same is true of love, though the matter is about man and wife, young man and young woman. But the same, it takes all life for family to really fulfill itself, so that people should learn how to understand each other and be happy together. When we speak about society, what is a democracy? It's the same thing. People, and there are these words, solidarity, friendship, like friendship towards... Friendship doesn't seem to apply to society, but solidarity applies immediately. Trust, confidence. This is like self-trust, not self-confidence, but self-trust. This problem, it's not a simple matter. To trust somebody, to live, because conflicts will always be with us. For this reason, this is why we have law and legislation. That's why we have the law. If a law is in breach, then to defend your right. This is how public social life is organized along the same lines that we invented. This is why I feel so strange that somebody seeks to find its own path, or addressing or borrowing Western experience. We are actually resolving our own problems out of these conflict situations or problems that we get across, and we try to overcome them. And these rules of coexistence, these possibilities, instruments and tools are being invented by us very much like other people do it, because we're human. And this is what we also spoke about at length. You could intuitively come at that. We all belong to human race, to the same species, like animals, birds, fish. They belong to different species. And we, all of us, irrespective of the skin color, language, religion, we all belong to the human race. And for this reason, when we speak about universal values, about universal things, common things that have to do to science, to scientific laws of science, that have to do with social matters, social laws, it all belongs to these spheres. When, well, say, international congresses are convened, international festivals are held, it all shows our aspiration for being human. And if we start thinking about it, we realize that indeed we are human. And in this sense, we are a normal country, a country that has faced great difficulties because 70 years we were deprived of this right to think independently with our own minds about what am I here for? Well, this is it. We understand this is not just simple to leave, to go beyond this this condition, this semi-unconscious. And I remember a poem of Voznесensky. He says, all progresses are reactionary if a person loses himself. Well, this is what started the process of de-Stalinization, and then what followed, it was followed by other things until, well, I think it actually ended in the disintegration of the Soviet Union. And we are now again in transit. This process goes on, and we are now enriched by great knowledge of the path that we've traveled, about what distance we covered. We really drew lessons. And I like this question. And I like your questions, as I say, this atmosphere of discussion that we've had during a week. Lena and myself were happy about it. That's why I want to, well, congratulate you on just on our ending this seminar. We feel sad, but we feel happy because a new seminar is ahead of us in July, and where we shall continue what we did here. I want to embrace you all. Yes, indeed. A very elegant and fragile lady stands behind this program, but she has this iron just hands. Nothing will fall out these fans made of steel. I want to give the floor to my excellent colleague, Inna Berezkina. Inna, who compiled this program and who is the author of this seminar. I don't want to be just shy and know that there is my input and there is Yura's input, everybody's input, but she's the one who is surely an author. Please, Inna, you now have the floor. Thank you, but if I could, if you have to speak about it, to name it them, I'm the youngest of co-authors. Yuri Petrovich spoke about love, and I think I shall speak about love too. But first, I also have to compliment this audience, and it's not my personal generalization. This is what I heard from many experts this time, and I'm overwhelmed by incredible pride that I share today with Marina Skorikova. You all know her. She was the one who invited you to attend the seminar, together with our girls and with everybody who is and works for the school. It's actually one of the most important parts, because no matter how brilliant might be the presentation by any expert, and all of our experts are brilliant, Yes, this is the case. At least as far as I said, I don't suppose this school attracts some people who come here by chance. But if you do not hear what they say, if you're not listening, then neither this session nor seminar can take place the way we have it today. And just a couple of words about love, because it seems to me that if it were not for love, first of all, between these two people, then the school would never happen and would never continue to be. And although we are living through hard times, I think that it's good to live through these times if you live together. And the school has this feeling of camaraderie and great support. It's an incredible feeling. I'm afraid that I might begin to sound with excessive pathos, and to everybody who is in the school, I'm very thankful to Yuri Petrovich. We don't have many men in this room, but Andrei Alexandrovich, and also here, he's not here, he's now academic Alexander Yurievich Sagamonov, who is on sabbatical. Oh, he's very special. We have his portrait here, yes. For that matter, he's always with us here. I hope that he's following us very attentively, and then he will give us his feedback. And Sasha and Sveta Shmelyov can enumerate us all, and probably I will burst into crying. And certainly an incredible to our interpreters, incredible by background, by education. I'm an interpreter. I've never become an interpreter because I came across the school, but I think this is the right way to say. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. The interpreters wish to thank the audience for a round of applause. Thank you for traveling to this school, and please stay with us. We'll continue on our path. Thank you. Well, Inna put it such a nice way. I think that we have two young experts. For that matter, what does Tomasz think about us? It's his first time with this seminar. He's been around for the whole 7 days. And what does Tomasz think of us? Well, I couldn't attend the whole seminar, but for a great part of it, I'm amazed. I'm amazed by. I think it is an peerless, unparalleled example. I've never attended seminars like this, and I'm under great impression both by the level of experts and first and foremost by the participants, because I think that they ask such good questions. You won't find any other place where they would ask such good questions. So you also are very good about timekeeping. This is what we see at many events and many conferences, that we're always short of time. Here I have a feeling that maybe certainly we never have enough time for everybody to ask their questions, but we have real in-depth discussion of a problem. I will tell everybody I know about it, and I will invite them. If you invite us, yes, we would love to come. Thank you very much. And as a minimum, I suppose, on behalf of all Polish group, I want to thank you, because we have been saying a lot and all have been sharing our delights, and we love you. And I suppose everybody in Poland would be happy if dreams come true and if you can meet again. Thank you very much. Border, do you want to say a few words? A couple of words, because you are not only he's so smart, he's also very interactive. Well, thank you very much. For me, the seminars by the school, I understood it on day one when I arrived here, and only this time. These seminars have become like a drug addiction. I'm now addicted to school seminars. in 5 or 6 hours after you arrive in Golitsyno, you get this high. You get this high, and the next several days after the seminar ends, you get this withdrawal syndrome. And seminars are none are unlike another. And they're all like surprising in terms of the quality of the audience. And all 3 evenings that we spent, which I moderated, we had such somewhat sophisticated subject, and I very much feared before the seminar that we can go away into, you know, hooray sort of approach where we would stop all consideration and go into sort of coming up with slogans. But all of us who are here,
and they managed to overcome yesterday the translation that we designed yesterday from Russian to bureaucratic, from English bureaucratic into Russian normal. And so please, if you could post them on Facebook or send them by email. And I'd like to thank the school because we're not insured against bad events that might happen and that might occur to anyone. And so mid-term, long-term, that's true. But life, life is not possible without that. This is life, part of life. Thank you. Svetlana Shmilova, 2005. She came here and she was sitting in that corner. And so the people who ask questions, I would remember where they were sitting in 2005, 2003, and sometimes she kind of just got closer and she would just ask her insidious and smart intellectual question. Yeah, she would do that. And then I said, do you want me to do some, help you with something? And then she did it from scratch. And so then I used to be given an award, a chance to speak when I was a student. Now it's more difficult. So dear friends, co-students, I'm impressed. So since 2004, so the way the school has been growing, expanding, and improving. But the school is about the same thing. But it's amazing how every year it's the same and different because the school is impacted by the outside world differently, and that's why school reacts, adapts to it, and so we can see not only the response of the outer world to what our school is doing, but this is the point where we can meet and remember that the ideas that you share with others and you feel the co-thinkers, so people just thinking the same way, so on the same page, same boat, same wavelength, and so get the impression that then and at a certain point in time, so we got a site, and in order to prolong, to make this feeling last, and so Vadim Korovin today, so during the break, so he said that the regions are getting further and further away from Moscow, because it used to take 3 hours to get to Moscow. Now it takes 5 hours to get to Moscow. But somehow the perception that the regions are distancing themselves from Moscow. That's why this community of the graduates on Facebook, and if you see your applications, I will add you to that Facebook. You have a right to be there, and then so on, to enhance, to expand, to scale up this community. That's our task. And then every Sunday we have online meetings every Sunday with experts. So we have either a book that we're discussing. If it's a seminar, then so there are some video footage. There's some video footage that we can watch, and so etc. Please come visit, and we'll be happy if you come visit us. And then the second point in the program. So we made a horrible mistake for us. So because we changed the name and the banking information is different there, so, and the requisites are different, and you're a little bit in the notebook. And so we need to print out the point. So that actually, so there's the banking information on the receipts are not it's not valid because the numbers are different. So if anyone wants to fill out and just to make a contribution, so we need to know how many receipts to print out because the banking information on the ones that we have distributed is wrong. And that, it's a very important component, and so private contributions are very important for us. And I think that so we need 10, 15 so printouts. So we need to do, I don't know. I think that see you online, and in July nothing will change, and so if we'll be open all the time. We'll know if there is danger just for us to be closed. So I would like to give the floor to Sasha Shmelyova. And so then she found herself a husband here. So and here is the husband. Yes, she found his, and he is at school. So let's go back many years. So since the year of 2000. So this is my 15th class. And so I go back a long way. So I wanted to talk for a long period of time, but but since most of what I wanted to say has already been said, and effectively, when I was listening to the presentation of Vadim Mezhuyev, so this is a great, a very deep, insightful presentation. There was one point that kind of elicited some inner protest. I wanted to make a comment, but I didn't dare at that time. I'll do it now. So Vladimir Mikhailovich was listing, so there was an attempt of Peter the Great's modernization. Something was done. Then there was a Soviet attempt to modernize, and so some results were obtained. And then there was liberal modernization of the 90s that fizzed out. And so because we talk and talk, but nothing gets done. I don't think this is true. And because over these 20 years, our society has made tremendous progress, outstanding progress, economic, social, cultural, a lot of changes. So we live in a different society, and in the sphere of ideas even. Yes, so there's been a big change. And we can see it's at the seminars of this course. So 15 years ago, so they were discussing only applied questions, elections, taxes, profits, revenues, and the comments were very specific. So they were talking about their concerns, about everyday problems. So and in Krasnoyarsk we have situation such and such, and then when the presentation on Mezhuyev, so such questions that were made. So it was 15 years ago. The questions that Mezhuyev had to answer today, so would have been impossible to answer and to receive 15 years ago. And so then there will be, so we cannot go back. And that is why we'll continue to make progress. And I'd like to join all the compliments that have been said earlier. It is true that many times, I just got that feeling that when I was listening to, I listened to, so when I was not here, but I was listening on the computer, and I couldn't understand. Was that a comment? Was it a question, or the continuation of the experts' intervention? Because you were doing so well, and the questions were so great, and then another point in our big family. Yeah, so they will deny me the right to speak, right? Because I'm too prolix. So then everything that has been happening here so has been recorded, videotaped, tape recorded, and broadcasted, and it will put on the site in the 6 days. So they're broken down into sessions, and it will all be there. So I suggest that you go back to this material and try to remember very important components. And then I suggest that you continue staying in touch in social networks, and don't stay in touch, don't disappear. And thank you all. Thank you. like to give the floor to Marina Skorikova as a creator of this group. Lena always speaks about me as a TV talking head, but it's not true. I'm not a talking head. So I'm still a talking head on TV. Anyway, so I go back a long way. So first time I was in 2009 here at the first seminar. And I'm proud of each and every one of you, because I know what it's like to be a student of the school and to answer questions and to listen. Always remember what Saint-Exupéry said. So then there was this event when the little prince gets on the planet where there is a guy who keeps reading numbers, so subtracts, multiplies, deducts, and he thinks that he is doing the most important task in the universe, and there is nothing more important than the figures, numbers that he multiplies or divides. At a certain point of time, I turned into this kind of little prince who is sometimes confused. Why people who are asking me what you do, what you're doing, so like you're asked, so what are you doing, so why you're wasting a week, to come here to sit and listen, so what's the point, why are you wasting your time? And I hope that every one of you will turn into this little prince, because I want to say that what we're doing here is much more important than many other issues that on the face of it seem more important for people around us, because without the feelings, without the insights, without the foundation, without this perception and deep understanding, all other things, the forming budgets, reforms, municipal things, it's nothing, means nothing. It will never it will always be built on sand unless there is a rule of law, free judiciaries, free press, free media. So without all this, and I hope that I can refer to myself as a real journalist. And so then working jointly, I hope that on the 27th of June we will meet in Golitsyno and we'll hug each other, and on August the 2nd everyone will get the status of the graduate of Moscow School of Civil and Education, graduates of 2014. Marina, if there is a guy who leads TV events, then there are those who are led, and leading and led. Okay, so then I have very important responsibility to extol one very modest man. This is Sveta Aristarchova. So I would like to speak good of you, Svetlana Aristarchova. Svetlana and her sister Luba, who you've met too, and you all know, you've seen her. So she did an amazing task, and so because she organized it all, and so because she just brought Golitsyno resort into a decent place to live and work, and because there was nothing there before. So it was not because we have good food, we have knives and forks and plates and bowls and everything. So it took Sveta several years before civilization came to Golitsyno. Yeah, and this is very important, and I'm very happy that I'm very happy that I have the honor to say thank you to Svetlana. Couple of words about the seminar. I just think that so the more horrible news we get on TV, the better the seminars become. Then that's because every forum is better than the previous one, and this is true for many reasons and for many indicators, because we're getting higher and higher, we're on the rise all the time, so the regional representatives, so wonderful people come from the regions, and then subject matters, topics that will widen and scale up, and so then philosophy came in here, so that's very important. Come out, we invite philosophers to our seminars. That is true of No, this is very intimate. I'm not going to talk about that. So then it concerns the geography of the representative. So from where you guys came, because many students so came, and so just if we look at this program, so there's the whole map of the world, because so there are some countries and people from the countries that not all guys who collect stamps even know that such countries exist, but we have them, and this agenda is a good proof of that. And I'd like to thank Mr. Traceman, our expert, and because while the school is working, so we're all here, so we are the best proof of the fact that Russia is a normal country, as the last speaker rightly said. And so as long as in Russia, we have many other people. So then certainly, so there could be different speeches, maybe said. But this is the fact that we're here, we're open, we can work. So it means that we're a normal state and we're a normal country. And then I'd like to, and so as long as the school is here and it exists, and as long as it exists. So we can be proud of this term that our country is normal, and we can be proud of it. We can be proud. And I turn my mic over to Lena. And I'd like to protest. Yeah, because we're connected to the nice people who are just putting together this event. So the event starts at 9 o'clock. Yes, I don't want just to go into culinary details, but they are quite attractive. So they will make. So you know what shish kebab is, you know what vodka is, and I think that you should not delay. And, because we don't want to deny you the pleasure of this. Because I'm telling you, I will not do that. No. So you cannot speak now. You'll go in more informal, convivial surroundings. You'll be able to speak and talk and discuss and debate whatever in one happy family. So we give the floor to everyone when we finish class. That's the second seminar, and that's when everyone can speak. So then 3 hours of wonderful speeches we'll have. But the next, not today, the next seminar, 3 hours will be allowed. But so we have a few colleagues, very brief, because we have only 15 minutes to the event, and no one just put on tuxedo yet. And that will be it. And there, so then you can talk to your heart's content. And so speeches, the weather is great, shish kebab is hot, wonderful, sizzling. So nice time. So I look at the watch and I'm trying. I don't want to fall out to exceed the time. So very comfortable climate here. So I enjoyed it. So it's not every group that feels intellectually, psychologically comfortable, nice, warm, and open. Not and that's very important because this year and every time. So we are preparing to different turnout of events. But this time, so the way it turned out, this one, it's so wonderful, so great. It's a wonderful, great event, and it went the way it was everything we expected it to be, even better. You know? So we're happy to see you all in your cities, and when all this discussion takes place and people, everything is great when we go visit your cities. And we're happy that the distance program works even when there are no seminars. And we're happy to offer some subject seminars as well. So because this kind of seminar is not the only thing we can offer you, because you know that the school organizes seminars for journalists. Then there's a special program for teachers. So then the people, the human rights, children's rights activists, etc. And so if we can get involved in these professional communities and seminars, workshops, we are open to cooperation, and we wait for you to come your part of the way. And we want your orders for books, because libraries, public libraries, universities, we provide books for free. And so to take advantage of this, because this intellectual baggage that I have this behind the door, so behind my back, so this is all we can just give you anytime. If you wish, just go take it free. And then I'm afraid just of the response of Andrei Alexandrovich, because he is very a strict moderator, and so this then I end up saying just I will see you at the lake in a few minutes. They want to change. Okay, good. All our graduates now they work at the school. So I think that everything has been said, all great words, and so the only point we invite you to the next seminar, and we wait for you to come and work actively. Good questions, intellectual remarks, please. Yes, thank you for your work. Is that all? Okay, and then in my concluding remarks, I'd like to thank all our 3 or 4 people, financial sector that helped us a lot, that organized this possibility to work in a qualified, professionally responsible. So then reporting and everything. So financial component is very important as well, and so I'd like to thank Sasha Timolkin, his colleague, who are just made this wonderful. So even from London, people are watching, and so the quality on the internet and the quality of broadcasting is very high. So you can always go back to this broadcasting because everything just is on the internet, on the web, and you can go back. So if you missed or just slept through, so you can always go back to it, and so that's what would be great. So you can always come back to it and watch it again, because Maxim, Drudalyuba, so they organize this internet component of our seminar so well, and Matveyeva, everyone saw, and he's our common friend, so he loves it here. So the son of Vasily. And I'm not going to waste your time and your emotions. I like everyone else. I'd like to thank you. I'm very thankful to you, very grateful to you. And another point. So all of us who are here, just who are putting together, just routinely making this school possible every day. And Mr. Sagamonov, Alexander Yurich, unfortunately, so he's not with us, and we can only see his picture. But so there will be an upcoming meeting with him, and so he will join us again. And so the intellectual and human. Without Sasha, unfortunately, nothing can be properly done. And so hopefully will join us again. I'm not talking about sad things because he's with us, and so he will not miss the year. So he will join us later. Sagamonov. And then another last idea is I'm one of the persons, and it's difficult for me, and I'm that kind of person. I don't think that the illusions are gone, and maybe it's good, maybe it's bad, that there are no more illusions left, but then this taste for systematic work came to me. So what we lost, we made up for it. And so we work with people's conscience, and we participate in this. And it's a work with conscience, with perception. And this is a great pleasure. And the great pleasure. And that's the most important, the pivotal part of our effort. And this is... and this effort exists only when there is a wish and there is a desire of the other part just to walk their part of the way, because we need just to walk closer to each other, proximity, and so those who want to think will think, and so if you want to use your brain, if you want to exercise your mind by the acquisition of knowledge, you need to do that. But some people don't want to do that. And you cannot force people to do it. But this seminar is organized for those who want to train their minds by the acquisition of knowledge, and those who want to, who have desire for it, wish for this better knowledge, and so they will, because we've been listening to those seminars. And so sometimes I repeat myself when I saying when I watch a book, read a book, or watch a good movie, for example. So first we watch a plot, and then if it's a good piece of art, we start to reread it or to watch it again. Sometimes we return to it later in our lives, and so we're beginning to get deeper and deeper and deeper and see the hidden depths in a book or in a movie that we were not aware of before. And so this seminar is designed in a fashion. So critical thinking, developing, enhancing, evolving critical thinking from different positions and so different angles that you can look at reality, at what's happening around us. And it doesn't follow that we're always right. And it just means that this viewpoint so has every right to exist, that this point has every right, even if it's in minority, minority share it, because that's the trick of democracy of modern society, the right of a minority, so to coexist and live cheek by jowl with the majority. And that's why in every situation in our lives, certainly situation changes, but we know that the right to think, the right to critical thinking and live in a critical, rational field, and so only the courageous people do it and can do it. And since there are very few courageous people, they certainly are in minority, and then they are prosecuted and persecuted, and because they are critical thinkers, and so to learn the way to argue in a coherent fashion with any opponent. So just don't do it with those who won't hear you. Then there is no need to throw pearls before the swine, and so then there's no point in arguing. So the whole point for me, the sense of this all, if I am to summarize it, as this emotional component of our public life, is to transfer something, certain components to the pragmatic, rational language. And so when I translate it, when I morph it into something rational, logical, then I feel this logic, and then I do not give up. So this rationality helps me, for example, and so then there are other things that help others. But this possibility, this ability to try to translate it to the rational language, to the language of rational actions, and then evangelical phrase I will end up with, which Mirab Mordashvili loved to repeat, meaning the following: that we should be led by intellect, by common sense. And his phrase, so walk as long as light is with us. I mean, walk in the ways of your heart. So if those who organize those seminars, those who live in other ambiences, and so these people are with us. And if in this sense, so this seminar is valuable to you, then we feel fulfilled. We feel happy, and we got this aesthetic pleasure from all this effort. Thank you.
Yeah.
A little, please turn in the translation devices, please, outside the door. Fill out the questionnaires, leave them on the table, and please surrender the equipment, translation at the entrance. And then a couple of persons will please help us to clean up the room so that we won't have to do it tomorrow morning. So to take the pictures off the walls, etc. 9 o'clock, dinner ready at the lake. Thank you. Tomorrow, what time tomorrow? Two buses will start at 11 o'clock. One will go to Kievsky train station, another one to the train stations, Leningradsky, Kazansky, and another one.